Don't confuse divine timing with procrastination. See, people haven't done enough wellness checks within to realize if they're hearing God's voice or they're hearing their ego's voice. See, sometimes God will have you relax for 7 days, 3 days, 1 day, a few hours before you make a final decision on any particular pathway. Your ego will try to hijack that ability that God has displayed and will try to guide you towards something else, usually very selfish. But it all comes to your own action. It all comes to your knowing system. Remember, I tell you, do not believe nor have faith in God. Know in God. Us masters, we don't believe nor have faith. If I'm performing a miracle, I'm not saying, I hope this is going to happen. God, I believe it's going to happen. Or, God, I have faith this is going to go the way you want me to go. No. I know this is going to happen. Why? Because I am God's will embodied. You see that security that is called spiritual security. I don't need someone to validate me. Anything about validation from the outside, the external world, is literally codependence masking itself as something else. Anyone that needs to be emotionally validated, anyone that needs to be spiritually validated, anyone that needs to be mentally validated, they are just disguising their codependence. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Because you truly must ask yourself, is God enough? A lot of people, they'll say, yes, God is enough. If God is enough, how are you still waking up feeling like you're alone? How are you still waking up feeling like you must do? There's nothing for you to do in this world because all is done. There is nothing for you to seek out in this world because all is within. There is nothing of separation, for you are God's will embodied. Quite literally, oneness in every sense of the term. But I still want this partner. But I still want this job. But I still want this, but I still want that. Who is the one that is speaking? The ego or God? Peace unto you. My name is Nadiie, and today we are going to discuss being God's will embodied. It's very, very important for you to foundationally understand being God's will embodied isn't just about being spiritual, because someone who isn't even on the spiritual path can be God's will embodied. But what you must understand is your way is not the way, for oneness is the way. Anything that brings forth that which is perfect love, that's the way. But people on earth within their ego feel like love is something that is felt. Love is not something that is felt. Just because something makes you feel good does not mean you are experiencing love. Some people may go to their religions and say, yeah, I felt good when the pastor was talking. It doesn't actually mean the pastor was bringing forth God. It doesn't actually mean love was in the building. There's plenty of people that say, I went to churches and I haven't seen the Holy Spirit, but I went to other churches and I've seen the Holy Spirit. And you completely see something different. So just talking a good talk isn't what brings forth that which is God's will. You can get God's will from a homeless person. You can get God's will from someone that absolutely smells horrific. You can get someone that aligns with something that you don't even agree with entirely. In some way, some shape or form, God figures out how to will in its will for your benefit. But it all pertains to your knowing system, not your belief nor faith system, for that is not so. Your knowing system of spirituality, your knowing system of God, your knowing system of self. Because when you truly know yourself, you know you are in everyone. When you truly know yourself, you know this person that you see in your phone or your computer screen is actually you, a version of you that made it. Well, if this version of you that made it is showing and revealing itself to you, then that means you made it. For it's a divine law that says what you see is what you are. So if you see a master, you are a master. If you see me and see hate, then you are hate. If you see me and see love, then you are love. It's just as simple as that. Spirituality is not complex. It's only the ego that wants to make things complex. The ego says, to get to God cannot be that simple. To get to God can't be as simple as being a nice person. Being a nice person is about stop arguing with yourself and with others. Yourself means stop feeling like you're in pain, even if your body feels like it's in pain, because it's a contradiction. If God doesn't see you in pain, then whose laws are you going to be following? God's laws or the world's laws? See, it's one thing to know the truth. It's another thing to respect the illusion. But it's one thing to feel like you know the illusion and respect the truth. You don't want to basically put the energy of respect on truth and then put the energy of no on illusion. No, you have to make sure the knowingness is of the truth and the respecting is of the illusion. The illusion says my back hurts when I wake up. The truth says that is not the case, for you are God's will embodied. I'm going to walk by that. If my back signals to me that there is some type of pain, I'm going to laugh. I'm God's will embodied. I think I'm feeling pain right now. I'm just going to stretch and I'm just going to trust. And I'm going to transmute that trust into knowing. And I'm just going to continuously move forward. See, laugh at the fact that the world says that you're limited. Don't subscribe to their ideologies. That's what's going to guide you to being that which is God's will embodied. And it's also a cosmic joke because you are already God's will embodied. You think you must do something to go back home to God. The more you feel like you must do something is what's limiting you and pulling you back from experiencing that which is God's domain. We went into the astral realms a few days ago, and we have a very specific mission in all dimensions, and we're very aware of it. And we went to God's domain. Not heaven. Heaven is the bridge between the light and God. We went directly to God. These spirits, they call it God's domain. No joke. If someone who isn't mentally secure went to that place of perfect love, they would probably want to off themselves to try to get there. It's that beautiful. There is nothing that can compare to that level of love. You can't even hate there. I tried to feel anything other than love. They looking at me like, what are you doing? You look like you're constipated. I'm just, I can't feel anything besides love. Tears rolling down, and I'm talking with everybody, and then they said, Nadiie, it's time to go. On the way back, they started laughing, and they said, listen, visualize God as $1, 100 pennies. This was just a quarter of a penny. If you thought that this was amazing at a quarter of a penny, you can only imagine how we feel when we experience God as $1. And then I woke up. There's so much benefit to being God's will embodied. I promise you there's so much benefit. And if you follow these steps to the T, and you also, in your mind's eye, always remember that the mission is done, there's nothing to do, I promise you, you'll experience more than a quarter of a penny. If you're interested in joining our mystery school, click that link in the bio. But before you do, DM me and I'll give you our free 3-day course. Because if you aren't willing to integrate at least 3 days to God while you're trying to join the mystery school, and if you're interested in booking a one-on-one session with me, also click that link in the bio. With that, we say welcome home.